Everybody, to this week's episode of the Standing Room Only podcast. I am Goose. I am here with Healy. This is episode number 24. 24 long weeks. Actually been a little bit longer, as we mentioned before. We took a little hiatus due to the world ending, but we are back and we finally have some sports news.
Oh, yeah, some
If
big
you are
ones.
Yeah, some big, yeah, huge ones. Of course, as always, if you're not already following the podcast, we are on Spotify. We are on Apple Podcasts as well, the Standing Room Only podcast. You can follow us on our social media, SR Only Pod. We are on Instagram. We are on Twitter. We have a YouTube channel as well. If you want to see what we look like, put the face with the voice with the face, whatever you want to word it. Go ahead and follow us on YouTube as well. You can find us personally on social media as well. I'm on Instagram, iGoose, 4 O's, don't ask why.
And I am the Healy6 on Twitter and Instagram.
The Healy 6. Make sure you guys give us a follow, stay interactive. Got some big news today, Healy. Finally, it's been kind of dry recently.
Yeah, there was a trade in the NFL. Pretty big one. You guys might know who this guy is. He's just an old friend of Tom Brady. Rob Gronkowski. He has announced that he is coming back, and he only wanted to play for Brady. So they traded him to the Bucs with a 7th round pick for a 4th round pick. What's your initial thoughts on that?
I think that it's a good trade for both teams. I think, wow, for one, Gronk's coming back to play with Brady. The simple fact is Gronk was still under contract, if I'm not mistaken, for
Yeah.
1 year, and he wasn't going to play with anybody but Tom Brady. So, if anything, the Patriots kind of made out. Both teams made out because the Bucs now got Gronkowski. Brady got his Gronk. Adds another huge weapon to that already amazing offense, minus the running backs. They're still working on that. And then the Patriots, for them, they got a 4th round pick. It's basically a 4th round for a 7th round swap because Gronk wasn't going to play with them anyways. So I think it was a good trade.
Yeah. A lot of people on Twitter were saying like, oh, the Bucs, they got a steal. The Patriots could have got a lot more for him. Gronkowski, how do you trade him for only a 4th? He wasn't playing for the Patriots. It's not like he was staying there. The Patriots had no leverage. The only place he was going to was the Bucs. So they had to get up whatever they could get back, and they got back a 4th round pick for pretty much free.
Exactly. You basically moved up 3 rounds with the power of Gronk, who, like you said, he wasn't going to play with anybody. He mentioned it years in the past. A couple years ago, if Brady's gone, I'm gone. And guess what? He retired at the end of 2 seasons ago, or the end of last season, depending on how you look at it. And we didn't think he was going to come back. Well, Brady goes to the Bucs, and the rest might be history.
Oh, yeah.
Does it make them a contender? It makes that division even juicier. It makes that team, that offense is stacked. Who knows what they're going to do with OJ Howard, who's already a damn good tight end.
I think he gets moved on Thursday. I think this move right here frees that up, and the Bucs are going to be in an even better position for moving Howard, because Howard's pretty decent. He wasn't at Gronk's level in terms of talent and stuff, but they should be able to move him with talent. Now, where do they move him to? At first, I was like, oh, the Bears. But they signed Jimmy Graham. I don't know if they want to sign 2 tight ends that are both potential starters, especially when they sign him. But if Howard isn't moved during the draft, I'd be surprised. I don't know why he would still be there.
We know historically the Patriots and Tom Brady used to use that 2 tight end set, and they mastered it. I do not see it happening. The game kind of evolved away from the double tight end set. They don't need it. They have so many deep threats at receiver that one guy, Gronkowski, is going to open up this game even more. And it's going to change defensive schemes going into, oh, let's attack Brady. Let's force him to throw. Let's hit him. Because now you have Gronk who can still block. You have Gronk who can catch the ball downfield, as we saw in the Super Bowl 2 seasons ago. And now they have so many different variables on one offense. I wouldn't be surprised if they just say, "Hey, let's trade up.
Yeah.
Let's take the seventh round and or whatever. What did they get? A seventh round from the Patriots? Seventh
Yeah.
round and OJ Howard. Let's move up to the third round. Let's move up to the second round.
Mm-hmm.
Some teams might do that. The Bears, I
Yeah.
mean, I think they, I mean, it would. I feel like they'd be better off with OJ Howard, but
Mm-hmm. I do
it's
too,
kind of
but
too
I
late.
I just don't see them with the Jimmy Graham move on.
No, and they
Who
gave Jimmy
knows?
Graham a solid contract too. What did he get?
Yeah.
Like 9 mil.
Yeah. Pretty solid.
So overall, definitely a good trade. I'm even more excited to see Tom Brady play through that division. Do you think the Bucks have a chance, or are you saying it depends on what they do Thursday?
I think the draft is a big day for them. I don't think
I
their
think so
team is
too.
still they're kind of at that level right now for me where last year the 49ers, we saw they were the real deal. They made the Super Bowl, they had a lead. But all year last year, I was like, are they contenders? I don't know. They just don't seem like it. They're at that point where they do have the potential, but I just don't see I'm not confident in saying like, yes, they're the real deal and like
So
contending.
the big thing for me is Tampa went 7-9 last year,
But Jameis
and they were
Winston.
hurt with Jameis Winston and a very unhealthy receiving core. Who knows if they're going to even be healthy this year? We don't know. That could make or break the season as well. Mike Evans, I don't think he's played a full season. We saw him get hurt on, I had him in my fantasy league. I think he got hurt on like a huge 70-yard touchdown last year and was done for the rest of the season. Godwin's really good. I do like Godwin a lot. And then of course they've always had like a running back by committee. So who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe they find the one.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't even looked at the mock. I've looked through the mock drafts. I don't really know who they're targeting right now. I know they're kind of like in the middle of the pack, but for them to be 7-9 last year, to add Brady, I know he's old. To add Gronk, sure he's old, but these guys know how to win. I think that puts them as a 10-6 team,
Yeah. I definitely see
which
them being 500 this year. I could see them winning the division as like a number one seed in the conference, though. I don't see that they're there.
no, winning the division is going to be tough. They still have the New Orleans Saints, who is
That's gonna be fun.
always that's going to be a fun matchup.
2 times a year, Breeze and Brady.
Breeze and Brady. Oh man, get your popcorn. Get your popcorn. All I know is I hope we get the NFL this year. I'm sure by that time we'll have something going on with everything that's going on in the world with this COVID, whether if they play in an empty stadium, hopefully not, but I'd still watch
Mm-hmm.
just as though it was a full stadium. But yeah, I'm super excited. And then of course, this Thursday, as we mentioned, we got the draft, the virtual draft,
Online.
the online draft. So I think it's pretty apparent we know who the first pick is going to be.
And
We
probably
have the sense.
second.
Yeah, definitely first and second. I mean, those are the two best guys in the draft. I mean, they're studs. You have Joe Burrow for the Cincinnati Bengals. I think is a must. The Bengals have to start doing something. I mean, if they don't start winning in the next couple of years with this quarterback, they should just sell the franchise to me. I'll figure it
Mm-hmm.
out. And then of course, second pick, you have Washington Redskins looking at the number one ranked prospect in the draft, Chase Young from Ohio State. Chase Young is a dog. He's good. He's nothing short of excellent. He's always excelled. I think it's a good move for Washington. Washington, obviously, being second, they're not going to be able to grab the best quarterback in the draft. They have Dwayne Haskins. Are they going to develop him? Who knows what's
Yeah.
going to happen?
Yeah, there's no need for the Redskins to draft a quarterback. Chase
Not
Young,
right now,
you got to go with him. He's the best player in the draft.
hands
If the
down.
quarterback wasn't as valued and like it was the best player available, Chase Young would go number one. But the Bengals are in need of a
Exactly.
quarterback right
And then if we look through some of the notable players, so there's Tua from Alabama. He's the second best ranked quarterback in the draft. They're saying he's probably going to go to Miami, which
now.
I
Yep.
think would be a good move for them.
Yep.
There's let's see who else is out there. CeeDee Lamb,
Mm-hmm.
receiver with Oklahoma, who is incredible. They're saying, the Las Vegas Raiders.
That'd be
There now
big.
it's gonna be yeah, CeeDee Lamb and Jerry Jeudy are 1-2 for the receiver position, and so the way that's looking in the mock draft, this is the NFL.com's mock draft. They're looking at CeeDee Lamb and then Jerry Jeudy right behind him, and Jerry Jeudy, the 13th pick, would be the San Francisco 49ers. Can you imagine him on a 49ers team that's already has pretty damn good receivers and a damn good football team?
Yeah, that would be pretty sick for them to get. It would
I
definitely
think that would
help
be
them out a lot.
yeah. Yeah, definitely. And then I was gonna say the Chicago Bears, but I don't think they have draft picks for the next, like, 45 years, right?
They don't have a first rounder this year. I think next year is when they finally get their first round back.
Yeah, for the, Khalil Mack trade, which, I mean, to be honest, it was worth every draft pick, in my opinion, because he's still in his prime, and he will be for a while.
Hmm.
Um, Me being a Packers fan, we get the 30th pick in the first round, looking at a receiver from Baylor, Denzel Mims. I can tell you I know, absolutely not too much about him other than what I've read. All I know is that the Packers have been in dire need of that second receiver. Cobb was the guy for a couple of years and he declined. He went to Dallas. We had Devontae Adams. We used to have Jordy Nelson, who
Hmm.
eventually retired. He got hurt and then he went to the Raiders, and that just didn't work there. We have not been able to fill the slot. Packers have always been the team where Rodgers, where Favre always had two stud receivers, whether they made them studs or whatever. But I've always remembered the Donald Driver, Greg Jennings era,
Hmm.
Jordy Nelson, like all these good guys, and they just haven't had it. And it's been a huge, huge difference maker with this team.
What was the other one? Jones? Was that
Oh, James
James
Jones was
Jones?
a killer. He was a bear killer. I was at a
Hmm.
game where they clinched the playoffs against them in Chicago. He had like 3 or 4 receiving touchdowns, just raw talent. So that's I'm hoping that they go with a receiver in the first round. I mean, this guy's
Yeah.
6'3". He's got some size to him, so we'll see.
Who'd you say
But
you
I'm
want them to take?
well, this is just
Or
based on the mock draft. As a receiver is Denzel Mims from Baylor.
gotcha.
If it was up to me, if they can trade up and maybe get one of these other, top receivers, that'd be kinda cool, but
Hmm.
probably not likely.
My
Especially with the
friend,
49ers too. They have 2 first round picks, which is huge,
yeah,
huge for
one's
that
pretty
team.
early on too.
Yeah, the 13th pick, and if this mock draft is right and they grab Jerry Jeudy from Bama, watch out, man, because
Oh
that
yeah.
team they got rid of Emmanuel Sanders because
Hmm.
Sanders is, he's a Saint now. So, okay, he's gone, which he was a part of the run with the 49ers, but he kinda came on late.
Yeah.
Um, to replace him with somebody of that caliber from a huge school such as Alabama, which they've developed nothing but talented players at every position, that's gonna be huge to match up with Deebo Samuel. So, I'm excited for this draft, and to see what trades get made. I know that we were talking about the Tampa Bay Bucks. They have the 14th pick in this mock draft is Josh Jones from Houston. Don't really know too much about him other than he's the fifth ranked outside, or I'm sorry, offensive lineman
Hmm.
in the draft. So that would be huge because you still want to be able to protect Brady.
Yeah.
So you already have the talent. Now, how can you buy him enough time? Let's
Hmm.
draft a good offensive line and get some competition going.
And my friend Bengal right now, he does a lot of NFL stuff. He loves the NFL draft. He puts up mock drafts a few times per year. He watches a bunch of tape. Right now, he says he just put out his final mock draft yesterday. He said the 49ers or the Bucks would get Javon Kinlaw, which is an interior D line. He also said the uh, Packers would take Brandon Ayuk out of Arizona State. That's who he thought should go there.
Okay, he receiver.
Yeah, he's a wide receiver. He is,
Oh, he's the sixth highest rated from Arizona State. Yeah.
yeah.
He didn't participate in the Senior Bowl because of injuries, but he's a yards after catch monster, which if we go back and remember Randall Cobb was a yak machine.
Yep.
Yak machine. Little slant route turns into 20, 25 yards every time for him. So that would be kind of cool. From the mock draft I'm seeing, they have him going a little bit earlier with the Eagles. Eagles are a weird team. I don't know if they're going to go receiver. I mean, they've always had,
Hmm.
Alshon Jeffrey and some solid talent, but then they've always had some receivers who just can never catch the ball. Nelson Aguilar and some other guys who have histories of drop balls, but
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. Thursday next week, we will talk about the NFL draft and give our opinions on probably our own teams and as well as some other teams that we thought had like a decent draft.
yeah, I think I'm looking forward to the trades because there's always going to be trades, and we'll see. I think the Patriots are going to make a move, and OJ Howard's going to be for.
That's pretty much all. Well, the Chargers, I don't know if you saw their uniforms today. They came out with some new unis. The Patriots also came out with some new unis this week.
Yes, I did see the Patriots post on Instagram. The Chargers, I saw theirs as well. I am in love with the Chargers uniforms.
Oh yeah, the Patriots are iffy. They're okay. The Chargers, I'm all for. People hate on the yellow pants. I like that combo with the light blue
With the
jersey.
Yeah, with the powder blue. I love the Chargers jerseys. They've always been one of my favorites. Dating back to LT wearing the powder blues. They definitely are going to show out this year with their jerseys. And Patriots they're okay. They didn't really adjust too much. I like them. I like the Patriots. There's not really a set of unis that I hate so far. Um, I'm sure there's some teams that just won't change, like Green Bay. They just never change their jerseys.
Yeah,
Here and there, they change a little bit, but nothing crazy.
the Bears.
Yeah, the Bears did add some alternative jerseys, which are pretty cool in the past couple years. So I like what they did. Looking to see what a couple of other teams do. So definitely the Chargers are by far have the nastiest jerseys that I've seen
Oh
for
yeah.
for the new jerseys. So
I tweeted out today. I'm like, for next year or this year in Madden, they are my franchise team just because of their jerseys.
just
Also,
because of the jerseys.
yeah, their jerseys are sick. Growing up, loved LT. He's my favorite player, pretty much of all time. Uh, and they have a quarterback situation, so that's why I'm going to select them in Madden. Might as well. They're in a rebuilding spot. Might as well start off with them. See if you could draft a quarterback. Maybe sign a quarterback here and there. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the NFL. The other topic we wanted to talk about today: The Last Dance. First two
Oh
episodes came
man.
out on Sunday. What are your initial thoughts?
Amazed. I'm amazed at how well they put it together. And just being like how old I am, and I know you're a little bit younger than myself, just growing up and knowing who Jordan was and seeing him play at the end of his career, and just in the first two episodes, how much I took in, it was almost overwhelming.
Yeah.
Like the behind the scenes footage that Jordan has been holding on to with Adam Silver in the NBA. This is never before seen, and now I was not aware of how evil Jerry Krause was,
Oh my God.
but this dude single-handedly destroyed what could have been more than 6 championships.
Yeah.
He
And
almost destroyed the 6th championship.
more of Jordan's career.
Jordan's career. This dude ended up going to Washington.
Well, he retired
Jordan,
again.
he re mhm, and he came back, and it was just amazing that you could have such a good team, but you felt the need to rebuild because some guys were getting older, and it was like a power play. It
Yeah.
was like his way of saying, "Hold on, you play for me.
Hmm.
Now I don't work for you, you work for me." And for him to do that, I mean, don't get me wrong, he kinda did get this team together in the first place. He helped, they got Jordan, eventually they got Pippen. They traded for Pippen on draft night, and they got this foundation going, and I think he thought his shit didn't stink at
Mhm.
all.
Yeah.
And he just it
It was all
I don't know, it
business
was
to him.
amazing. That's all it was. He's like, everybody's an asset and everybody can be moved. Um, when you have somebody like Jordan, who is one of a kind, I mean, Magic Johnson even said it himself. He was the best player of all time that he ever played against. Larry Bird, what did Larry Bird say? He's like, that wasn't Michael Jordan. That was God
Yeah.
disguised as Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And I mean, that the way he played, and he was just so athletic. It was a like, I don't think I've ever seen another athlete get nearly as close. We've had like Derrick Rose for us was unbelievable. He was nuts. And Jordan was better than that.
Yeah. I can't I wish I could have seen him live back in the day. I wish I could have. Or just like
I'm
watched
still
games.
I'm amazed. It's not even just Jordan. Like, I know this circles around Jordan. Like, I mean, he was the MVP. I mean, he's the
Mhm.
GOAT. But, it just goes to show, like, you know, Pippen got a lot of credit in this in the first two
Yeah.
episodes. Jordan said it himself. You can't mention me without Pippen in the same sentence.
Yep.
Phil Jackson was a genius of a coach. I mean, it's hard to take raw talent and win with it because everybody has their noses are stuck up. They play how they want to play.
Yeah.
And we see it all the time. Like, especially in, well, baseball is a little bit different, but people try to buy championships and it doesn't always work. More recently in the NBA, sure it does, but we've seen teams like the Spurs win a few championships, and they've only ever really had Tim Duncan, who's a Hall of
Yeah.
Famer. I mean, sure, they had the Admiral at one point, but to win 6 championships and to have this core go back to back to back on 2 separate occasions, and to see the behind the scenes footage, I mean, I was amazed. As a sports fan,
Mhm.
I recommend it. If, like, there's people out there who have not watched it, I know some people are recording it and they're gonna binge watch it, which I
Yeah.
think is so smart.
Well, there's
It's
no there's no reason to record right now, as it will get put on Netflix if you have Netflix. But if you don't have it, go ahead and record it. But I know some people might not know that it actually is going to be on Netflix as well.
I didn't know that. So they gotta
Yeah.
deal with Netflix. Oh, that's gonna be so much
Yeah, it's
revenue
on
for them.
Netflix
God
now. I think
bless.
I think the first 2 episodes are on Netflix.
Oh, they are? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. See, I didn't even see that. I was too hyped up. I hopped on, I had the TV. I went into the bedroom with the TV mounted up. I set the scene. I was like, "I'll talk to you in 2 hours." Because, I mean, just, like, from the first scene you're watching and you're just like, you had, um, his coaches from North Carolina, who was it, Dean Smith and,
Roy
uh,
Williams,
Roy Williams, and both of these guys were, like, praising him like he is
James Worthy.
James Worthy as well.
He was like,
James
I
Worthy,
was the best player for like 2 weeks while he was there.
yeah, he's like, yeah, because of how fast he developed, and Jordan has had that mentality, and I think that's what stemmed, uh, into Kobe's mindset. Kobe had everybody knows Kobe, the Mamba mentality. That stemmed from Jordan's mentality. Jordan even said, was it his rookie season? He's like, I don't know why we're tanking. I don't see the point in tanking. We play to win the game.
Hmm.
And that right there, you're like, oh, he's a real one. He's a killer.
Oh
That's what you
yeah,
want from somebody. So for him to do that and his what do you have, a 63-point game against the
and
Celtics, which that's
49.
and 49, it was 49 the first night and then
Uh-huh.
63.
While he came off a major leg injury in which he could have played and ruined his whole career, and he
Yeah.
didn't have the minutes restriction in the playoffs.
He had such a rare break in his foot. And the minute restriction thing was hilarious to me. They would blow the whistle or whatever it was, call a timeout with 30 seconds left in the game and pull him. And Jerry Krause was the one doing that. He would run
Yeah,
down and tell them, "Hey, you're gonna lose your job if you don't pull Michael."
yeah.
So that's pretty interesting. I mean, this is stuff I never knew. I mean, you can always read a stat book and see who's good and who's not, but like the story behind it that evolved, and the Hollywood effect and all this other stuff, and I'm ready for episodes 3 and 4.
Oh yeah. I am
So
super pumped. I don't know about you, but I had the chills the whole 2 hours I was watching that. And this week it's talking about the Pistons, and Dennis Rodman gets an episode. So for this whole documentary, I thought it was just going to be 10 episodes going through the season, chronological order. For the people who haven't seen it yet, this is like major backstory for everything. I think the
Yep.
last couple episodes will go over the 98 season, or they're going to progressively go through it a little bit by little. But for basically every episode so far, they go over a little bit of the 97-98 season, but then they take a huge step back and retrospect it to see like how they actually got to that point. So for the first
Yes.
episode, they talked about Jordan, him in high school and at college, and like him coming up the first year. And then the second episode was about Scottie Pippen. So talked about Scottie Pippen in college, and then what he did throughout his career and
And his
accolades and like his
amazing
family life.
contract.
Yeah, his 7-year, $18 million contract or whatever it was,
It's
and
nuts.
which Pippen did end up making more money than Jordan throughout his whole career. After he was done with the Bulls, he was making 18 million a year. So yeah, it sucked that span he was with the Bulls. As good as he was, he did get paid for it though. He
He
could
did
probably
end
could
up
have
getting
got
paid,
paid.
yeah.
He probably could have got paid more, but he did end up getting paid a lot of money at the end of the day.
Yeah, yeah, but it's still frustrating knowing you're
Yeah,
leading the league in so many stat categories, you're second in the league in so many stat categories. Your team goes to the playoffs when Jordan retires the first time because you are that damn good of a player, and
hmm,
you're making chump change. You're the 122nd highest paid player in the league, and keep in mind there's 12 guys per team generally, so you're almost the worst paid player, but you're putting up the best type of numbers. And Jerry Krause and the ownership, they just didn't Reinsdorf just didn't wanna they told him,
yeah,
"Don't sign this contract. We're not gonna adjust it." And I mean, I don't blame them. Business is
yeah,
business,
yeah.
but, I
And Pippen at the end of the day did sign it because he had a couple disabled family members money to help
he
out.
did it to help. He had to pay it forward for his family, and I don't blame him at all. I mean, $18 million is still a lot of money.
Yeah, especially
I
back in
don't
the
think he
day.
Yeah, and I don't think he looked at it for comparison.
No.
Obviously, if he I mean, 7 years, when did he sign that? In, like, 90 or
Yeah.
whatever, maybe 91?
91.
So, that's a good I mean, 2,000,000, just over 2,000,000 a year isn't bad.
Mhm.
And then, like you said, he got his payday when he went to, Portland. I don't even think he ended up playing full seasons with any team after that. He always had, like, migraines and different injuries, but, definitely well deserved after the fact, so
Yeah, well, he went to Houston, played 50 games, the most in the league. Then he played 82, and then after that he didn't play more than 60.
yeah. So he did play almost 2/3 of the season.
Yeah. Then he finished his career with the Bulls.
That was right before the Young Lovables team.
Oh yeah.
No, Lovables, no, that's the dancers. Baby
Oh,
Bulls. The
Baby
Baby
Bulls. Yeah.
Bulls.
Yeah, before
Christy
Ben
Vaughn and
Gordon
everybody.
and yeah,
Yep.
Heinrich and all that. But yeah, I am
So,
super pumped for this Sunday. I'm going to be glued to my TV yet again. Dennis Rodman should be so interesting because we all know what he's like. I saw a teaser and he was like amazed that the Bulls wanted him, whatever,
oh,
which
he
is
knew it,
cool.
yeah, I did hear that too. He was basically like, "Wait," because he played with Detroit and some
Yeah.
other team. He basically got beat by the Bulls, and the Bulls are like, "Hold on." I mean, he led the league in boards. That was the
Yeah.
biggest thing. They needed a bruiser because they beat the shit out of Jordan. Teams were doing it, so then they started hitting the weights, they started packing on some pounds, they wanted to they wanted to give the pain back. I'm just excited to see what they talk about, and, I've always heard stories that Jordan basically looked at Rodman and was like, "You're gonna come in, you're gonna play good or you're fucking gone." So,
Yeah.
I'm excited to see.
And also, like, I making the connection that he did play with the Pistons, I think they're starting off with the Pistons. So we'll
Oh,
see
even
that
better.
rivalry, and then we'll see how Rodman went to the Bulls.
It's even better, even better.
Ooh.
I think Jordan even said to this day he still hates the Pistons.
I wouldn't
So
doubt it. Would not doubt it. I am so excited, though, as everyone else should be. If you guys have thoughts, tweet at us at Standing Room Only Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. Message us there at SR Only Pod. And yeah, we'll talk about it next episode. Don't worry about ever messaging us or tweeting at us about episodes in general, because we could go over the next episode. The people that are listening, thanks for that. Thanks for the support with everything, and yeah, we'll be more than happy to include you in an episode, especially if you're listening. So it'd be cool.
Yes, definitely. So go ahead, make sure you follow, like, subscribe, leave a review, download. That's the most important. That's the way basically we get tracked. So if you guys like to hear what we're saying, just keep showing the love and pass the love around. If you know somebody who likes sports, doesn't know about us, just give us a shout out.
All right, that should do it for this week's episode of the Staying Room Only podcast. You can follow me at the Healy6.
And I am iGoose with 4 O's. Again, don't ask why. Just go ahead, hit the follow button. You can hit the like button too. I'm cool with that.
We'll see you guys next week.